Hey guys, and welcome to There's a New Tank Available Somehow, so here's a new video. Today I will be talking to you about the M4Y, or as I would like to call it, the Mivy. It's probably not meant to be pronounced that way in any way, shape or form, but I will continue to do so because saying Mivy is a lot easier than saying M4Y all the time. So Mivy it is. The Mivy is a Tier 8 American heavy tank, and it's a clipper. And it's weird. I mean, I can't really describe it otherwise. I will go over the stats with you and I will explain my reasoning with calling it that. It's one of those things that is just really, it feels like a really big letdown. Well, when you look at the statistics, it's not. So it doesn't really add up, so to speak. And I've got some theories about that, so I will be sharing those with you. But let's go over the stats first. I have been comparing it to the M3 Yo, which is the Tier 8 Tech 3 counterpart of this tank. The biggest difference is that basically the Mivy has 4 shells and the Yo has 3 shells, but of course there's more to it than that. Now, the DPM is 2107 for the Mivy, where it is 2028 for the Yo. The penetration is 218 for the Mivy, where it is 225 for the Yo. They both have an alpha of 310. The rate of fire is 6.8 for the Mivy, where it is 6.54 for the Yo. And the reload is 14.38 seconds for the clip for the Mivy and 23.05 for the Yo. But the big difference here is that basically between the shells for the Mivy there's about 7 seconds, where it is just under 3 seconds for the Yo. So that's a very big difference in how this tank plays, because it really feels like after you've shot 4 times, then for some reason you have an extra reload, or as if you missed a shot somehow, and that's basically your clip reload. So it feels really weird that way. It's not your typical auto loader basically. So the caliber for both guns is 105. The shell velocity for the Mivy is 1067, where it is 1000 for the Yo. The aim time is 2.33 for the Mivy, where it is 2.21 for the Yo, so that's slightly better for the Yo. And the dispersion is 0.384 for the Mivy, where it is 0.345 for the Yo. Both tanks have a gun depression of 8 degrees and a gun elevation of 18 degrees. And the Mivy goes 40 km per hour forwards, 18 backwards, where the Yo goes 35 forwards and 16 backwards. However, the engine power of the Mivy is only 660, where it is 910 for the Yo, so that's a big difference. That being said though, the Yo is also much heavier. It weighs 64.12 tons, whereas the Mivy only weighs 46.57. But it does feel really sluggish to drive, at least to start with and accelerate. So the power to weight ratio is only very slightly in the advantage of the Yo there, to be honest. But yeah, the camera while standing still is 6%, while moving it is 3%, and after shooting that drops to 1%, which is quite a bit better for the Yo, which has 8% and 4% and then 2% and 1%, but still better. They both have a view range of 240. The Mivy has an HP of 1850, whereas the Yo has 1700. But the armor is where it gets a bit weird. Like, the turret armor for the Mivy is 267 in the front, 120 on the sides and 53 in the rear, where it is 200 in the front, 130 in the side and 50 in the rear for the Yo. And the hull armor is 158 in the front, 82 on the side, 52 in the rear, where it is 120 in the front, 65 on the sides and 50 in the rear for the Yo. Now this is one of the things that I've noticed. Like, there's quite a few shots. Like, the guy is not even, well, now he's awake, but he wasn't. And my shots have just sailed right over him, even though I was standing still for the first one at least. And I was basically taking care to aim properly before I shot and everything. And then it just doesn't go in, and I'm not sure if that's the game or my internet, because it has been a little bit dodgy, but still. There's a lot of those little moments that just make this tank feel like not quite that much fun. And I'm really happy that I got the result with this battle that I did, because I did not really expect it. And overall, it's just a tank that I really struggle with. I think that the tank would do actually quite well if you have a teammate, because then you're actually a lot more likely to do well, because you're not the only target and you've got a friend to help you out and everything. But it feels like it really struggles, and basically this game I got so lucky with some of the shots that I did not take, basically the things that I bounced and everything, because it doesn't have that much armor, and at the same time, with the bounces that I've had, and you'll notice that as well, it's a miracle that those bounced at all with the position that I was in. But just overall, it doesn't feel like the greatest tank. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's one of the things that I actually quite regret. Um, because I had high hopes for this. Like, I love the Yo, like the tier 10 Yo. I haven't driven the tier 8 that much, but I like the Scepter as well. And just feels so different. So I was really wondering what it was about this tank that made it feel like such a dud for me. And then I kind of realized that whereas the Scepter and the Yo, the M3 Yo that is all have a cupola, it is relatively small. And this tank has one that is absolutely huge. And I generally do not mind cupolas because they can be the most troll part of your tank. But that really depends on the kind of cupola that you've got. And it just seems that this one is not quite as effective as, like, for instance, the one on the E5 used to be before they removed it. And there's just a lot of things like that. This is a tank that I know is going to come in crates. I'm not entirely certain what the drop rate is, but likely it will be like around 4%, because usually it's either 3, 4 or 5%. And then knowing that you have to gamble for this tank, and I'm like, I'm not actually sure that I want to. In a way, yes, I want to, because I want to keep my collection complete. But at the same time, when this is basically the thing that you get out of those crates, I'm not entirely certain. That being said though, I really like the way that it looks, like the whole camo with the extra attachments that it has and everything. I really like that part. I don't really like the part where it's called Stalker because of it, because that is a bit tricky as well. But yeah, overall, it does look really nice, and like the way that the color scheme works and all of that. That part I really like about it. So there is at least that. At the same time though, again, you have to gamble for this tank, and just to reiterate, crates are bad, okay? Basically, if the drop chance is 4%, there's a 96% chance per crate that you are not going to get what you want. And that's the thing to keep in mind, because even though the more crates you open, the higher the chance is that you will actually reach that 4%, the actual drop chance never changes, so it will always be 96% chance of not getting what you want. That is of course assuming that the drop rate for this tank is actually 4%, but you know what I mean. Basically, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, overall this tank, it's not that bad. It can be fun, and especially if people are not shooting you and you can actually get the shots in, then it can be a lot of fun. But at the same time, when people are shooting you and they just have that really huge cupola to aim at, the rest of your armor doesn't seem to really matter all that much. And I've gotten quite lucky in this game with some of the things that were happening, and I had a good team behind me which helped. And in this case, him missing definitely helps, and I managed to get that last kill, which I'm very glad in. It actually led to a battle result that I did not expect, because this did not feel like an ace game. It was like an okay game for this tank, but it didn't actually feel like a good game. And that's the thing for me that really sticks with me when I'm reviewing tanks. How does the tank feel? Because that's the thing. I can have ace games or I can do the damage. If it doesn't feel like a good game, then the tank just isn't that much fun to drive. So yeah, that's my take on it. I do admit that I'm a bit weird about those kind of things, but that for me is the most honest way of reviewing a tank. So that's my review for this tank. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you are going to gamble something, then good luck, but please don't gamble your life savings away. So for now, bye bye!